Hey everybody, welcome to the first ever beer science experiment with your Astral boys, Paulie with a PhD in beer science, and the one and only Mr.
Professor Cessna. And in this episode, we want to know, what is the fastest way to chill a brewski?
Yes, science!
Beer science! Lattes, porters, and Belgians, triples, pilsners, and IPAs. My friend, we're making beer science. Sours, browns, and double bunks, Severs, reds, and blondes, Helles, Kolsch, and Irish stouts. Beer science! Beer science!
There's one thing that we love more than anything, and that is beer. Right? Beer is a highly scientific thing.
It is.
It's great for drinking and getting you drunk, but there's a lot of science behind that. There's a lot of work and chemistry that goes into brewing beer, what it does to your brain cells and your body and your blood.
Very, very versed in that myself.
Highly scientific. Yes, I would take you for a very well-versed and learned test subject.
You don't get a PhD by not drinking beer, I'll tell you that.
That's true. We got ourselves some tasty beers. They are currently warm as fuck. They're at room temp. We're going to test the room temperature for comparison's sake. So we have a scientific baseline, which I think every hypothesis requires. Right?
Correct. What are we reading? What are we reading here, Professor?
Our current reading, Lab Assistant Paulie, is 60.3 Fahrenheit. So put that in your little journal. 60.3 Fahrenheit is our starting baseline, also known as the
Beerometric.
beer theorem.
Beerum.
The beerum.
Yes, for short. That's in the lab we say beerum.
That's what I say.
A more important test is how does a warm honey brown taste?
That's a really great. I think you should taste that for science.
Most important thing when you're conducive to beer science hypothesis is safety.
Safety. Yeah, I was gonna say.
You don't want to put an eye out with your ingestion of the bureaucratic.
Sometimes beers are hyperactive. Sometimes they could explode or combustible, exfoliate,
contaminate.
congealate. We're proponents of beer safety. Now that you're nice and safe, why don't you go and have another taste of that for the people? Make sure our results are sound.
We cleanse it with. Never mix your beers.
All right.
Results are in. Warm honey bro.
Not bad.
Not bad.
All right. We're going to move on to the next part of the experiment, which is the chilling effect.
Very well calibrated.
Yes.
As you'll see here in a second, it's a very well calibrated chillification system designed here in the PhD lab.
Yes.
With the Astral boys.
The Astral crew have been hard at work on this science.
Decades.
In fact,
we've been working on this for decades.
We've perfected this as professionals, professional beer drinkers, and scientists.
And we encourage you to try this at home.
And the first method, I believe, would be a simple refrigeration. What do you think?
Refrigeration is the most used version of chilling beer, so I think that's a good place to start.
It's a good place.
Many Americans chill their beer in a refrigerator, myself included.
Prior to refrigeration, we had to store beers in caves.
Okay, yeah.
Cellars, and now with the introduction of
Freon-induced induction cooling
for chilling beer, with that technology, we can now chill beer at a much more rapid pace. So let's take our first beverage, which we have already tested at 60.3 Fahrenheit. We're going to insert this into our Astral fridge, and we'll set the old timer to see how cold we can get this in 15 minutes.
Now we'll do the same.
Paulie, please insert the beverage.
Professor, say you live in a ridiculous state like Pennsylvania or Utah, and they only sell warm beer because they hate America, they don't love freedom.
Why is that?
They're just godless people. I can't say much. But either way, you go home and, it's warm beer is not enjoyable. Nobody's had a nice warm beer.
No one wants that.
So the method that I've always heard that works best for me Put the beer, wrap it in a wet napkin, throw it in the freezer for a few minutes. Gets nice and chilled. You ever heard of this?
I've heard of this scientific approach, wrapping the beverage in a damp towel or napkin to therefore accelerate the chilling process. Yes, I've heard of this. I've never actually tested it though in the field. I would like to examine such application.
Well, Professor, I'm gonna give you the honor of the first test.
Let's take the beverage here. Assistant, will you please bring up the fluids?
Be careful with these. Put your goggles on. This is very dangerous.
Thank you, sir. Safety is paramount, please, people. I will now take a standard paper towel.
Or 3.
We'll go 3-ply. I will now submerge the cloth into our mystery fluid.
Professor, don't put your hands in there.
I'm sorry. I'm not
I'll be back.
using the correct PPE. Thank you, Paulie. Thank you for this utensil that we must conduct with precise measurement. I am now taking the cloth and I am submerging it into the H2O.
Be careful, Professor.
Get it in there, good. We now have a wet, very wet paper towel. All right, this may be too moist. What do you think? Paulie, will you please hold the specimen? I am now going to strain the specimen of all its moisture. Not all of it. That would be dumb. We want a damp clothette similar to this. Would you say that's sufficient, Paulie?
I would agree that is a sufficient amount of moisture.
We are now wrapping the beer with our cloth. Paulie, please insert the wrapped beverage into the chilling chamber. Thank you. You can see, people, this is a highly conducive experiment, only meant to be performed by trained professionals.
So, through my intensive travels around the world, I've learned of many beer chilling methods, and the most useful I've learned were from the Inuit peoples of the frigid north. And they explained to me a very detailed ritual of how to chill the beer to the coolest temperature. Ice, salt. And I've heard it makes the beer the coldest the fastest. But we have no scientific proof of this.
I believe that would create a very permeable chilling effect within the vessel. Shall we conduct it?
Yes, Professor.
Before us, we have the standard bucket of ice water. Assistant Paulie, please provide the sodium.
It must be handled very gently.
Does this salt contain iode? Can you tell me?
It does not contain iode.
That is a necessary nutrient, I'm told.
Thankfully, beer does not need nutrients.
Beer actually contains all the nutrients one needs. Did you know this?
Correct, yes.
So the salt is actually not going to be consumed by our bodies. It's going to be simply used to accelerate the chilling process. Now, shall we begin?
I agree. We should begin this process.
Thank you, Paulie. Will you please insert the sodium into the ice water? Should we stir that?
In my travels, I've learned that stirring is the best method to, spread the salt evenly around the mixture.
Insert in. Oh. We're going to start our timer at 15 minutes. We're going to check the beers periodically to see how soon we can obtain a rapid cooling sensation. Do you love science, or are you a bitch? Now, if your assistant is as Polish as mine, you might have to find another one. But in the meantime, take what you can. All right, the first beverage was the refrigerated beer.
The most of normal methods.
Paulie, will you please provide an opening utensil?
Very precision device.
Easy.
Ooh.
Non-agitated. Wonderful. We'll now insert the thermometer into the refrigerated beverage and check for the barometric pressure. I'm happy to report that the beer has gotten colder. We are now sitting at 54.9 degrees Fahrenheit.
Professor, I think the appropriate thing to do while we staggered the beers in the fridge for an exact, very scientific amount of time, so we could test them at the exact moment of their pure coolness, would you please do me a favor and please taste the beer? And so, for those watching who are criticizing, the glass is the exact temperature of the beer that was poured into it. So
It absolutely is
We do
science.
not need to hear your criticisms.
Let's see how well the refrigerated beer reacts to my palate.
Yes, very good, very good, very nice, great form, Professor.
Yes, sir.
Are you okay?
I will say that temperature provided a very succulent drinking experience.
Yes.
I feel that this temperature was almost ideal for consuming beer at rapid succession.
Write this down.
Lab Assistant Paulie, please bring out the next subject, which was the beer wrapped in the moist molecular cloth. That was cold. Wow. It has been mummified, I believe. It has a mummification.
Yes, it is the Arctic mummification. Rare, but very effective.
Wow, I've read about that. That is amazing. Look.
We had to dig through many, many, many sacred and old texts.
Ooh, that the phreonic charge is quite massive.
Professor, you might need to put your goggles on for this.
Please, let's insert the thermometer into the rectum of the beer.
Very precise measurement.
Ooh, the readings are astronomical.
Yes.
44.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Can you see that?
Oh my God. It's unbelievable.
Considerably cold.
Unbelievable!
I think the only way to continue with this experiment is to now taste the beverage in its full effect.
Professor, do you mind if I do the honors?
I would love for you to do the honors, sir.
I've never quite had a beer that cold that fast.
I am seeing early signs of frostbite around the parameter of your
Yes,
orifice.
Professor.
He's gone in for seconds. He is a thirsty lab assistant.
Is it?
Delicious. Hit me again, assistant. Deliciously chilled to perfection.
So good.
Excellent. Excellent test. The only thing left to do is to move on to the next experiment, which was the final chilling effect.
Yes, Professor, I will.
Please retrieve the vessel. If you recall, we submerged the beer into ice-cold salt saline solution. And through that process, we will now examine the temperature.
Very cold.
Please, hold on. Be careful.
Professor, I'm a little worried here.
Please
put on your gloves. This is
Let me put on my gloves. Please proceed with caution.
a very precarious process because the water makes the beer volatile. It shifts very rapidly.
Yes, of
It needs
course.
to be performed with very, very.
Beautiful coloration.
I'm trying to focus, Professor.
Absolutely, sorry. I'm going to remove the saline solution out of the equation.
Oh, look at that!
Unbelievable.
Oh wow, the results are stunning. This is very intense.
Unbelievable. Absolutely stunning.
Wow, these results are better than expected. I've never seen results like this in the lab.
Never.
I think we may have created a new life form.
I feel like we've created a new experience for beer drinkers worldwide. This beer, ladies and gentlemen, is sitting at a whopping 37.6 degree Fahrenheit. That is the coldest beer known to man.
Oh my God!
I think.
We've done it, Professor.
My
We've done it.
God.
We've done it.
With all these years of research,
We've done it.
there's only one thing left to do, and that is consume this volatile creation.
Professor, be very careful.
Absolutely. Well, we know, people, obviously, that confirms our assumptions that the most rapid chilling effect on beer is through the ice bucket challenge. Now, mind you, this beer is 35, what did I say it was? 38 degrees? It's cold as hell.
It's very precise measurement. We would need to record it for history, Professor.
Now, I'm afraid to consume this at rapid succession. I feel it may freeze my internal organs.
Cold!
Now, I love a cold beer, but I love to drink beer quickly. Better more, right?
I would agree.
So, with that said, I'm gonna say, put your beer in the fridge for 15 minutes and then you can slam it. You could probably even butt chug it easily. If you want a cold ass beer because your beer is nasty and you want it to taste cold and so you don't taste it, do it like that with the salt, right? Fuck.
Yeah, it's cold. That's cold. Professor, your insides are going to be in
It's cold as fuck. Follow us on social media at Astralborne Band. And stick around for more episodes of Beer Science!